It's always been a good district for technology.
The technology in our district, I would say, is probably the best technology that we could have had.
I think that Westmoreland Central School as a whole is very forward-thinking in terms of technology.
I feel we're very fortunate to have a superintendent and a school board who wholeheartedly support technology at Westmoreland Central School. In Google Apps for Education, that has been a very recent initiative over the last year and a half, 2 years that we rolled out, and I really think that's gone a long way, allowing teachers to flip classrooms and extend school days.
Well, it's really easy to use Google Drive and Google Docs and all of that. One, because you can share the document with your teacher and submit it, and they can look at it right online. Two, because you can share it with your classmates, and it's easy to do group work and group projects. And Google Classroom is easy because you can submit the work that you've done right to your teacher online instead of handing it in on paper.
The piece that I see the most beneficial for students is that they can collaborate with one another in ways that 10 years ago we could never do in the classroom. As far as teachers go, it's really, and from an administrative standpoint, it's really helped to, I guess, streamline the work that we do. Our team meetings, all of that's on Google Docs, so any teacher who's not able to be at a grade level team meeting can see things that are happening at that grade level. So just being able to communicate among staff has been really beneficial. I've transitioned, and I'd say 90 to 95% of what I do is saved up in the cloud. I have a number of documents out with different teachers for planning and different ideas. So just from a productivity standpoint, communication, collaboration, all those soft skills that we're trying to, as we talk about lifelong learners and preparing students to be innovators, all of the soft skills that students need. This is a tool that really helps them to develop those soft skills.
First is Google Classroom, which is a great way for me to show kids what they have, what work I need from them, to let them turn that work in and communicate with me questions about that work. So Google Classroom is one. Connectivity the kids have with each other and with me. Docs to write essays, write stories, and then share those with me and with their classmates and do peer editing, and I can make comments and suggestions as they type to each of them without having to say any words or interrupt them. They can just be going and go along. So that's been really nice.
I think the biggest thing that Google brings to the table is allowing staff and students unlimited cloud storage, while at the same time offering us access to the programs that you create your documents with, such as docs, sheets, and slides. And by doing that, by making them available for free, available wherever you are, pending obviously internet access, and everybody being on the same version, it's allowed for collaboration that just wasn't attainable with where we were just a couple years ago. And I think for teachers, really, and students, the whole well, I was sick, or I was out, or I was on vacation, it's almost really not going to be any longer be an excuse for not getting your homework done. We've had students who've gone out for prolonged medical procedures, and the teachers have set it up, and they really never missed a beat. The kids would have that student on Skype or FaceTime or something like that, and they were right in the class with them. So it was really, really cool. The teachers loved it, and the students liked it as well, even though it meant they had homework to do that they probably could otherwise got out of. But it certainly has impacted my job on a daily basis. The ability to quickly and easily get to my Google Drive folder allows me to do my job more efficiently. I mean, Google Apps, GAFE, the FE is for education, so it's a product specific for education, and that's been a game changer. And all at no cost. I always have to throw that last part in there. And their tech support is unsurpassed in my opinion, and it is free as well. So we've had paid solution providers, and their tech support doesn't even come close to what Google says.
All you have to do is search Google Docs on Google, and I'll be on it typing my project in 20 seconds.
I'm definitely more organized than I was last year. Just putting all of the information that I've gotten from my classes onto Google Drive and Google Docs has made my grades go up. it's portable, and then we get to bring it from class to class, and we don't have to sign out our own little laptop, and it's kind of our own little personal computer.
The best thing about the Chromebooks for me in my classroom is that the word processing power, and specifically, as I mentioned before, the fact that kids can collaborate. They can collaborate with kids that aren't even in their class. And this is another great thing too. Work doesn't disappear. I definitely love the fact that my work, in terms of curricular work, in terms of team meetings, in terms of communication, is almost entirely done on the computer now.
I like that they're lightweight. They have all Google apps built into them. They're really fast, as in they don't have to manage a very demanding operating system. So it's just really simple and easy to do any task on the Chromebooks.
Something is, as we think about taxpayers and all they do for our community, they're $200 devices, and no longer do we have to spend $1,000 on a laptop because all of the work that students are doing in terms of GAFE is all online. I think anybody who doesn't really know much about Google Docs or Google Apps, if they think it's just Google Docs, I would ask them to take a look at it and see all that there is to offer and talk to a student. Those are the best individuals to talk to the kids. They'll show you everything that you need to know about it.
Within the last few years, we actually hit our one-to-one initiative a little bit ahead of time, ensuring that every student, K-12, has at least one device that we can assign to that student. And in fact, we've gone as far into high schools allowing those students to take them home, realizing that the day doesn't end once the final bell rings. In one word, it'd be cost. Really, the beauty is we finally have devices. I don't want to call them disposable or consumable by any means, but when it comes to putting a device that's $200 or $150 in a student's hand versus $800 or $850, which was the cost of our first deployment in our high school, it's just much easier to sort of swallow that pill if something bad happens to that device, and inevitably it's going to. These are human beings and they're kids. I really do believe we're moving down the right path at Western Central School. As you can see behind me, we've got 3D printers. We're in our production lab, our maker space, and I think that we are trying to provide students with the tools that they'll need to solve tomorrow's problems